The following episode may contain inappropriate material. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mattalk. Jason and John here, and we are going to talk about so many things. From the number 3 will be mentioned quite a bit in this episode. We will also be talking about the word divorce and plenty of other fabulous, fun, exciting topics.
So this is like an episode of Sesame Street. Mattalk will be brought to you by the word divorce, by the number 3. Okay. Real quickly before we get into it here, we have a couple of things to talk about. First of all, again, ladies and gentlemen, life is very busy for Jason and I. We are remote recording this episode again. We are going to get back to being in the same room, but here's the reality. Here's the reality check. We have very busy schedules this week. For me to pretty much close up the studio and transport it over to Jason's and set it back up, there's a lot that takes some time. And, today we just want to try to get this episode recorded because things are getting crazy busy around here. So, but we thank you for checking it out. We definitely do. We want to remind you that we need your help. This podcast has been nominated for a Columbus Podcast Award. It is nominated in the TV and film category. That means that it's also eligible to win the Podcast of the Year award. We would love to walk away with some hardware. I mean, we love doing this just for entertaining you folks. But the icing on the cake for this little podcast that could, so to speak, would be winning some awards. Don't you think, Jason?
I think so, John, and I can't wait to give my acceptance speech.
Now, here's my question. I don't know because I haven't found out. Are you going to attend the award ceremony if Mattalk makes it into the top 5?
Yes, I am, and I'm looking for a lovely lady to take with me. So, ladies, if you're listening and you're single and you live in the Columbus area, benmattalk@gmail.com.
Okay, let's get back to something else real quick that's maybe just a smidgen more important than your love life. And that is the website for where people can go and vote for the Columbus Podcast Awards. It's very easy. It's columbuspodcastawards.com/nominations. I've been throwing it up in the Facebook page for Mattalk over the last 2 or 3 weeks. So if you get confused, just look for a post from one of us with the link in there. And once again, it's columbuspodcastawards.com/nominations.
But John, I want to ask you a question. So I've been watching Monk, okay?
Okay.
Monk is a very similar show to Matlock and Perry Mason and that long line of one guy solving crimes. Is Monk the last in that line currently?
You know what? Probably. I would say that I'm trying to think.
I know people out there might be screaming Psych or they might be screaming like Law and Order, but I don't consider those the same thing because in Psych it's 2 guys, best friends. They're doing something slightly different. But with like Monk and Perry Mason and MacGyver, like all of those, it's just like one guy that you go to. So plus it's the style of the show. Like the style of Monk feels like the style of Matlock. Just, an updated version of said show with a little gimmick thrown in.
Would you consider the remake of Magnum P.I. to be that?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. You know what? It's a very good theory that if you're just talking about a single man solving crimes that is not connected to any type of law enforcement, I don't know. That's a good one to think of. I don't know. I really don't know.
Because I'm talking about the whole feel of the show, too. Like,
sure, right.
Watching Monk, I feel like I'm watching Matlock.
Yeah.
By watching Matlock, I feel like I'm watching Perry Mason. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean? I was just curious. Is that the last one we've had? We're due for another one, I would think.
Yeah, because Bull is not really, because that's more of like I'm rigging the jury, so to speak, in favor of the I think prosecutor. I don't know. I've never watched the show. It doesn't appeal to me. So I don't know.
Maybe the show Rebel a little bit. Maybe the Aaron Brockovich show. But I'm curious. What does our audience think? Just let us know, please. Email us, BNMATTALK, along with your dating references. And you can tweet at us at Mattalk_podcast. And let us know what you think.
You can even post a comment, or you can send your comments to us via the Facebook page. Just go to @Mattalk Podcast and let us know what you think about this topic. And you know what? Maybe you'll have a great date for the Columbus Podcast Awards. You know that? I mean, nobody thought this podcast would last, but it has, and now it's nominated for awards. So who knows? Maybe there's some magic here at Mattalk.
There is one difference between Matlock and Monk. I can get my daughter to watch Monk.
All right, we are all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. It's just been that type of a day. So you know what? Let's try to corral it. Let's try to get it into our routine. And with that, Jason, are you ready for our opening statement?
John, my only question is why 3?
With that, let's talk about the episode that we're going to review and discuss. It's called The Husband, and it originally aired on October 20th, 1987. And Jason, we have a few guest stars to talk about, but they all seem to have something in common. I'll let you play along. Actually, 2 things in common, I should say. But I'll just go ahead and start naming some of our guest stars. First off, we have Christopher Norris, who is going to play the role of Judy Benson. She is also known for playing the role of Rebecca on The Guiding Light, Laura Asher on Santa Barbara, and a lengthy run as Nurse Ripples on Trapper John M.D.
Nice. Trapper John M.D. was a spinoff of MASH.
Yes, it was. Our next guest star is H. Richard Green, who stars as Clark Benson, but you may also know him as Senator Brady on The Last Ship, Judge Hingham on Boston Legal, and Judge Stewart on The Practice.
Nice.
I know those are 2 of your favorite law shows.
They are. I like both of them. I can't believe one's a spinoff of the other because the tones on both of those shows are so different.
Yeah. Next up is Sherry Hersey as Diane Benson. You may also know her for the role of Eileen Markham on Home Improvement.
Al's girlfriend. I think fiance later on.
She also played the role of Paula Carson on Days of Our Lives and was Christine Shipman in one of my guilty pleasures, the cheerleading movie Bring It On. She was the mom of one of the cheerleaders, I believe. And you know what? I'll just confess right now, Bring It On's not a great movie, but there's just something about it that I find delightful.
You know what I say? I say if you like a movie, then it's great to you. So I don't think you should have to defend a movie if you like it. I like the movie 17 again, and I don't feel bad about it at all. I think it's hilarious.
What is 17 again?
Which Matthew Perry plays a guy who was a basketball star in high school. He gets his girlfriend pregnant, gives it all up. But when he's younger, he turns back into Zac Efron because, of course, a younger Matthew Perry would be Zac Efron. And the hijinks ensue. It's got Thomas Lennon in it, and Thomas Lennon, I think, is hysterical.
Mm-hmm. All right, our final guest star, Terrence McNally, who will be playing the role of Kevin Benson, but you may also know him as Robert Lynch on The Young and the Restless. And this is a shout out to our good friend Scott, who's a big Trekkie. He also played the role of Betardant on Star Trek Next Generation. Do you remember that character on Star Trek TNG?
No, man, because TNG I watched when I was younger. I've probably seen the whole series, but I don't remember it super well. I've recently restarted. I think I'm on season 2, and but no, I don't remember that character.
All right. Well, so as you saw, what was the common theme that maybe you saw with some of these actors, Jason? I'm just putting you on the spot. Did you pick up anything?
No, courtroom dramas.
There's some courtroom drama, but there's a lot of soap opera as well.
Yeah, and that fits with this show because we had the acts and played out like a play almost.
Yeah. And also, too, there was two lookalikes because I felt that Kevin Benson, a.k.a. Terrence McNally, he looked like Dr. Oz. Like, strikingly looked like Dr. Oz.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and you go to Christopher Norris, who plays Judy Benson, spitting image of actress Busy Phillips from Cougar Town.
I've never seen Cougar Town, John.
Okay. All right. Well, I've caught an episode or two, and I mean, it's okay. All right, with that out of the way, Jason, are you willing to give an opinion? Your opinion, and only your opinion, so help you?
The only one I have, John.
Then it's time to testify.
Testify!
All right. Here's the plot of The Husband. A woman discovers that her husband has more than one wife and later on is accused of killing him. Our opening scene actually is going to be a recurring scene, and we kind of already talked about it, but I really liked this. It was a cute, hand-drawn wedding album that broke up the episode into different acts, as you said, like a soap opera. But I really liked it. I thought, number one, I thought the wedding album was really well done in terms of the art. And I thought this was a change of pace, and this was something to kind of get us into a different vibe of Matlock. What do you think?
I do. I think this sets the pace for the episode we're about to have, too.
Mm-hmm. So we meet Kevin, and Kevin has sold some product to a big client, and he's back in his office to talk to his man, Clark, and they're exuberant, and they're excited. And in fact, Clark wants the details. Let's go out to dinner. I can. I'm going to go have dinner with the wife. Oh, let's have breakfast. Nah, I don't eat breakfast. Yada, yada, yada. But then, shortly thereafter, Kevin calls his wife Diane and cancels dinner plans. And shortly thereafter, the phone rings and Diane gets a very mysterious call about Kevin. So she leaves.
From a lady.
From a lady, no less. And so she leaves and goes to a restaurant. And what do you know? Finds Kevin at dinner with wife number 2, Liz Benson.
Another woman. Dun, dun, dun. Now, first, I got to ask this question is, who wants more than one wife? Like, seriously.
I don't know.
It sounds exhausting. I've been married before. One wife will just exhaust you. Like, can you imagine 2? I'm sure it's the opposite way. Like, if somebody's married to 2 men, like I feel like that would be exhausting as well.
Yes, we are not being gender biased. Being married to another woman or another man would be exhausting, especially if you're trying to keep it secret, which I think you have to. But nonetheless, that would be terrible. Like Ben says, you'd have to remember whose name is who, what's their favorite dessert, when is their birthday, who is their favorite aunt. Oh gosh.
You got to make sure you're keeping them happy too, as Ben kept saying throughout this whole episode.
Yeah, you know what?
He was obsessed with that guy's sex life.
He was. In fact, let's talk about it right now, even though that's going to come up a little bit later on after the crime. Yeah, man, is Ben just hell-bent on finding out all of the different aspects to bigamy? And I think, as I wrote down, his one comment to Michelle, I'm like, I think in 2021 that would land you in HR. Like, do you think he can, satisfy them all? Wink, oink. It's like, gross, number 1. Number 2, very inappropriate, Ben.
Yeah, but they're friends. Like, see, it's a weird line, especially in 2020, whatever we're in, that you can't cross. But I feel like if you're talking to a friend, sure, it's a coworker, but you're not like making the gesture towards that coworker.
Okay. All right, sure. We'll cut Ben some slack.
Now, if it was like a new employee, like a temp, maybe you don't. But yeah. I think it's okay to talk that way to a friend. Because, I mean, Michelle's not afraid to talk back to him.
True. Good point. Okay, I'm going to say it, too. Liz Benson is a dame.
Oh, they all are. All 3 are great.
I'm going to say, look, I think Diane Benson is a little plain. A little, Oh,
man, doesn't live up to John's single. So you could tell John isn't single because he's still got standards. But once you've been single for a long time, your standards start to drop.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mattalk. Not only are we discussing The Husband, but it's also Jason's therapy hour. So, all right. So Kevin and Diane fight at home. They argue. Diane grabs a vase and and bangs Kevin in the head with it. And we see for the second time, I think, in Matlock, we have this plot device of we have a nosy neighbor because we see the lady across the street keeping eyes on it. And so Diane leaves and she shows up at Cassie's place because she knows Cassie Phillips. And for how freaking small is Atlanta? It's not. It's like got a massive population even in 1987. How do people just know other people in the Matlock universe?
Because it's a small universe, John. And, I know people in London that I could just call up and go hang out with.
Okay. First of all, number one, you don't know anybody in London, do you?
Yeah, actually, my cousin's there right now.
Oh, Okay. Secondly, I'm just saying, again, this is another instance where literally 35 seconds of dialogue would clear this up. All right. Much like the trip to England. Oh, how do you know Diane, Cassie? Oh, we happen to be friends from yoga class or anything, but nothing. And we just left to believe that they've been friends for a while.
I'm okay with that. It's not like the other case where they're flying overseas and they don't explain how they know one another. If it's in the same city, we can give a little leeway to, okay, they just know each other.
Well, Diane and Cassie end up going back to the house, aka the crime scene. Here's one small little thing that I don't think is correct. I'm not sure. So listeners, please feel free to call me out on this. There's a scene where the hearse is actually leaving the driveway. I don't think that happens. I don't think in a murder case that happens. I think the meat wagon comes from the coroner's office. I don't think there's a hearse. At least in the other TV crime shows, murder shows that I've seen, usually the hearse takes the body from the coroner's office to the funeral home. It does not take it directly from the scene of the crime.
Yeah, because they have to do an autopsy.
Right.
I wonder if they do autopsies in funeral homes. I wonder if they can. But I can't imagine Atlanta they would. I know when my grandfather died, the hearse came, but he wasn't murdered, so.
Right. It's a totally different thing if it's natural causes or an illness or something. But yeah, I was like, I don't think that happens. So I think that was a small little flub in continuity. But nonetheless, the cops tell Diane that Kevin has been killed. And what does she do? The only thing she can do and say, oh, well, he was alive after I hit him in the head with the vase. That's your equivalent of grabbing the bloody knife, isn't it, Jason?
Yes, but if I'm the cops, I'm like, why would she just tell us that? And,
yeah.
If she did it, she wouldn't say that. So I don't think she'd kill him. She'd be a suspect, but I wouldn't be jumping into arresting her.
I know. So Cassie arrives at the office. Ben is sitting there typing. He's not very good at typing. And this is where we get the first instance of the bigamist concept. Basically how fascinating Ben finds it.
Yes. Ben is obsessed with this topic. We talked about this already, but he just does not let it go throughout this episode.
In the very next scene, we meet Michelle Thomas, and what the hell is she wearing? It looks like an oversized lab coat.
She is beautiful, John.
Oh, she is?
She can wear whatever she wants. She could wear a muumuu. She'd still be beautiful. Do they still make those? I'm sure they still make those.
I think they still do. I guarantee they still do. This is, though, where they giggle a little bit about the bigamist lifestyle, and I mean Ben and Michelle. And what do you know? We're back to the house, aka the murder scene. Michelle finds a briefcase on the floor. Now, Diane admits that Kevin never gave her contact info when he was out on the road. He'd call every single morning or evening at 8 p.m., and that they never really went out anywhere. I think these are two red flags in a relationship. If you don't give your significant other contact info when you're out on the road doing your thing, or that you ever go out anywhere. You want to go to dinner? Nah, let's stay in. That's two red flags.
Yeah, unless you're me. I don't like going anywhere, and so I like to order in.
And then we move on to red flag number 3. I think she also admits that she's only known Kevin for 5 months. That seems like a short amount of time in which to be married to somebody. You've only known them for 5 months.
Yeah, there's 3 rules when you get with somebody or you're dating somebody. 1, you need to know their friends. If they don't introduce you to their friends, then you ain't the only one. 2, if you have no contact information to get a hold of them, they can only get a hold of you. That's red flag number 2. And then red flag 3 is never takes you anywhere. Yeah, like you should be strike 3, you're out.
That's right. That's right. I thought you were going to throw in a joke there that one of the things you also don't do is you don't talk about Fight Club.
No.
I know, 1999 called. They want their joke back. Anyways.
Jokes for days.
Boom. This scene where Michelle and Cassie and eventually Ben are talking to Diane is the first instance of these flashbacks, which I liked this too. I thought this was really good. Although there's one, you know what? I don't want to spoil it. There's several of these flashbacks. There's one that's completely ridiculous. But I thought this was a cool way to show kind of the relationship between Kevin and these women. The one with Liz was freaking ridiculous. Who gets in a shower in a suit to make love to their significant other? Who does that?
People on regular television, on broadcast TV.
Okay. First of all, I knew you were going to go there, but let's just think about this. How problematic that would be. You're wearing multiple layers. You're going to get in a shower. It's going to be hot and steamy. So your temperature's already going to rise. You're going to have to take that stuff off. It's going to get heavy and wet. It's just a pain in the neck. You just need to strip that suit beforehand.
He should have changed into at least shorts and a t-shirt.
I agree wholeheartedly. Ben, as I mentioned, shows up to Kevin's house and he gets drafted to interview Liz. And this is where, again, Ben talks to Michelle before they leave, go through the front door, and they make the kind of how does he satisfy them kind of reference. And then poor Cassie has to interview the crazy cat lady. I know she has a name, people. I'm aware of it. I'm just going to refer to her, though, as Crazy Cat Lady because it's alluded to the fact that she has lots of cats. You just have a kitten that caused a little bit of a stir just a little bit ago before we started recording.
Yeah, it's very needy.
Very needy. It missed the litter box, too, didn't it?
Yeah, by a long shot.
Can I ask real quick, is the litter box at least on the second floor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So it wasn't too far off. All right. Just so at least it was in the vicinity. All right. Anywho, Ben discovers that as he's interviewing Liz while Crazy Cat Lady is being interviewed by Cassie, Ben discovers that Liz was the one who made the mystery call to Diane. Ooh. And the plot thickens. And by the way, if you didn't know, Jason, real quickly, Kevin, he's good at lots of things. I don't know if you caught that or not.
Oh, yeah. Lots of things.
Since they, A, said it 14 times, and B, continue to try to really beat you over the head that when it comes to making love, there's no one better than old Kevin Benson.
He left them all satisfied.
Mm-hmm. Yes. This is the most... I think we...
The Matlock.
Well, it's not the most risque, but it's up there in the top 5. Yeah. Uh-huh. Michelle interviews Clark, who we just find out is Kevin's brother, because that was never mentioned at the beginning of the episode or anywhere in the beginning of the episode. So my question is, I find it hard to believe that a brother would not know that Kevin has 2 wives.
No. Yeah, he would know.
He would know. Now, I don't, you have siblings. You would share things with your siblings, right? That you wouldn't share with like mom and dad and whatnot and other people, correct?
I don't know if I'd tell my sister if I had 2 wives.
Well, what would be the outcome? Let's do pros and cons. What would be the pros of telling your sister, "Hey, I have 2 wives"?
She'd lecture me. I have a very religious family. I'd probably get lectured by how wrong it is. Mm-hmm. I had 2. She would know I was lying because I'll never marry 2 women at the same
time. You're not very good at the hypotheticals today. All right. Anywho.
She'd probably lecture me, but she'd be supportive because it's something that was important to me in this fictional scenario.
Okay. Well, we have an intruder that breaks into Kevin's house, a.k.a. the murder scene. And Cassie is sleeping on the sofa. And then the intruder is caught. And Diane is there. Why are you sleeping at the place where your husband got murdered? Isn't that creepy?
No, they got a club. No, yeah, well, they probably wouldn't allow it because it's a crime scene.
Yes! Like, I'm like, where's Atlanta PD going? Hey, what are you 2 doing in this house?
I didn't even catch that one, man. I was so enthralled with this episode.
Yeah. Well, what do you know? The intruder's revealed to be wife number 3, Judy. And then, in another kind of continuity issue I have with this episode, everybody shows up. All right. Michelle, Cassie, Ben, they're there with their 3 wives. Everybody's going to talk to Judy. Why is Ben the only one in pajamas? Like, everybody else managed to have time to put clothes on, Ben. Why are you the only one in a bathrobe and pajamas?
Well, was Ben sleeping there too? That's the part that confused me.
Maybe. Who knows?
Or did they call him and then have him come over?
I took it that they called him and he came over and he just rolled out of bed and just like, but again, Michelle has clothes on. They're not, they're casual clothes, but they're clothes. Cassie has clothes on, and she was sleeping there. She changed out of her pajamas. Ben's the only one that looks like a bum.
Well, Ben's that kind of guy, though, that if Michelle calls him and goes, "You'll never believe what just happened. You got to meet me at their house. There's a third." And then he gets in the car. Yeah, he probably just ran straight to the car. I mean, I'd probably do that.
Well, anywho. So Judy reveals that she's missing $30,000. And so she hired a private investigator. And that's when she found out that there are 2 other wives. And Kevin and her were living in Atlantic City, New Jersey. He loved the action of the town and whatnot. And here I wrote down 3 wives equals exhaustion.
It does, but he's got it tight, man, because all 3 wives get along better than high school besties.
Oh, we're going to get to that in a minute. Enter Julie March. She's in the courtroom hallway. She talks to Ben. She tried to clean his tie. I think they're getting a little bit of the alluding to the fact that they might be dating. And Ben, he almost messes up, man. He starts talking about how he admires what Kevin has done. And zip your lips, Ben Matlock. Julie, she's not impressed.
No, she's not having 2 other wives for Ben.
Oh, no. No, that would be the most stupidest thing that you could say to a woman. Is, I'm very impressed by this misogynistic bigamist. Shh. Hush. Don't, even if that's the thoughts in your head, shut up. Don't say them.
Can you imagine Andy Griffith doing a show where he's married to 3 women?
Oh my God. First of all, in the universe of Matlock, that would never happen because Matlock is a cheapskate. 3 wives equals 3 more sets of debts you got to pay. So that's never going to happen with Ben.
Yeah, less hot dogs.
Less hot dogs. So we go to a courtroom scene. In other fashion news, why is Judy and Liz wearing black in the courtroom? It's not a funeral, you nitwits.
They came straight from the funeral.
You would think that would be scheduled differently. I'm pretty sure the court would go, oh, okay, his funeral is that day. We'll skip. It's on Friday. Okay, we'll hold off till the next Monday.
Or the court could be like, you know what? We'll schedule it on this day so these people can carpool. It saves time and money.
Yeah. What's those things called? The high occupancy lane on many interstates. You could fit 4 people in a car and take that and get to the court even quicker. So here's a change I really liked. Michelle Thomas is first chair.
Yeah.
Ben is playing the backup.
You know what, John? This is the moment that I realized there's no Tyler Hudson. So this show got me like 35 minutes into it without missing Tyler. That's just a spoiler for later. I just wanted to point that out because, like I said, this is the moment I realized no Tyler Hudson.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That we almost got 3/4 of the way through the show without noticing that. Judy admits, and this was one part I was very confused about. Judy admits that she was scared by a mysterious figure in a dumpster while she was snooping around. Help me out. When was she snooping and where was she snooping? Because I didn't quite understand. Was she at another location snooping to try to find dirt on Kevin?
I don't know. Maybe it was a scene that got cut.
Yeah, because I was very confused by this. So that's what she says. She was snooping in an alleyway. The crazy cat lady was the culprit because she needed to find food for her cats. I thought this was totally like ridiculous and moronic and lame. And it's all for the point that the old lady is not watching Kevin's house like she claims that she does all the time. I thought there would be a better way to do this than have this convoluted setup.
Well, in my mind, it got more convoluted. And I'm like, there's no way a crazy cat lady doesn't have cat food. Like, she probably killed him. I had her pegged as the suspect. I was wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though she looks frail and old. Okay.
Hey, man, don't underestimate a golden girl.
It's true. Very true. I did like that Ben gave Michelle a nice pep talk at the table. I thought that was good. Then we cut to another scene where Diane is packing up, and all three of the wives are staying at Kevin's house. Seriously, Atlanta PD, what are you doing? It's a murder scene. The trial's not over with it.
I wouldn't be surprised if those three women had, like, triple bunk bed.
Oh, probably. They probably went to IKEA and bought one.
There was no IKEA back then, was there?
I don't know, maybe.
I want a sitcom with them. Like, they should have been spun off.
I can see the Bensons.
Yeah. Kevin. 3 wives minus Kevin.
We got Judy, Diane, and we got Liz. Okay, yeah, because they get along swimmingly. I was like, you gotta be kidding me that they aren't somewhat mad. And I know people are gonna go, well, it's Kevin that duped them. Yeah, but come on. There's still gotta be some jealousy there. You know what I mean?
They could have had a whole TLC show about them. I'd watch them.
Yeah. So Ben shows up at the house, and he notices a clue because he overhears them talking about how Kevin always put his briefcase on the floor, and he almost put his briefcase on the counter, and they're like, no, on the floor. And so we go back to the courtroom where Clark is on the stand, and Ben asks about his love life. That's not abrasive. And he also asks about Kevin's role in the business. And actually, we find out Kevin's more of an employee than an actual partner because he's not trustworthy and he might be embezzling money. So then Ben wheels out the big guns and reveals to Clark, look, you two have identical briefcases. You have your initials on them. This photo of the crime scene shows a briefcase with your initials on it. The briefcase was on the sofa and not on the floor. So Clark must have snuck in the night before, set down his briefcase, killed Kevin, picked up the wrong briefcase, left, come back the next day when the body was found, somehow managed to switch them under the careful eye, and that means that I'm being sarcastic, folks, the careful eye of the Atlanta PD, and like an idiot, he puts it on the sofa, not on the floor. And what do you know? It's enough to make Clark break down on the stand and admit that he accidentally killed his brother. What'd you think about this?
It was shoehorned in at the end. I feel like they had a different angle they were riding and then decided to change it, maybe because based on the chemistry of the three women.
Well, Diane is scot-free, and we go to our final scene where Ben is still hung up on this idea of 3 wives while he's talking to Michelle, Julie, and Cassie. Way to go. Way to keep it classy, Ben. Way to keep it classy.
Hey, man, he was positioning the 3 women without offering the suggestion to the 3 women.
Are you saying Ben Matlock was trying to kind of
test the water?
Test the water with those 3?
Sure.
I'm offended.
Really I think Ben Matlock is a stand-up human being.
I'm offended. You have offended the listeners with that rubbish coming out of your mouth.
Perry Mason might have done that, but not Ben Matlock.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if Perry Mason would have done that for some other possible reasons. Columbo's a scumbag. He would certainly do that.
Whoa, what do you got against Columbo?
He would look like the type of guy that would like try to get with those 3 women, try to see which one he could have a shot with. Ben, no. Columbo, yes.
Fair.
All right, I apologize, listeners, for this absolute garbage of a theory that my partner's thrown out there. How dare you? How dare you, sir?
I just thought the irony of it being Ben and 3 other women as he's continuing this conversation, leaving the courtroom.
Rule of thumb, it's just not a great conversation to have with women. End of story.
No, I mean, at least wait for them to bring it up. And when they bring it up, just leave.
Run for the door. All right, Jason, you have any other notes before we get to closing statements?
I do not.
All right, then let's get to our closing statements. This is the part of the podcast where we rate the episode based on a gavel system. 5 gavels for a great episode, 1 gavel for a not so great episode, and we shall justify our reasoning for our rating. Jason, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I would like to go first, John. And I know that the last episode we weren't so kind to, but I am really digging season 2. And like, as a general rule, I think the 3 episodes have been more solid than I would say the first 3 episodes of season 1. And agreed. I thought this was a solid episode. Like I said, usually less Tyler for me, that's a negative. But in this particular case, I did not feel that way at all. I like the Ben-Michelle Thomas relationship. And this episode went by fast. I took 0 notes because I was addicted from the moment that book opened at the beginning. And this episode is a 3.8 out of 5 for me. Very solid.
I agree with you on a lot of those fronts. I give it 4 gavels. I really liked the wedding album inserts showing us the different acts. I thought that was very clever, a way to freshen it up. I thought the flashbacks for Diane and Judy were really good. I liked Michelle taking the lead on the case. I thought that was something good, that Ben only really cross-examined Clark. He really didn't do much else in the episode. I thought the plot was interesting. I mean, let's be honest, that we kind of didn't think that we would get a bigamist that has 3 different wives. You know, I thought the acting was decent. I think the negatives, I feel that Tyler Hudson not being in this episode is a miss at some golden opportunity. If you wanted somebody to be that kind of that guy to ask the question about, hey man, what's wrong with 3 wives? Tyler Hudson could have been the guy to pull that off. I think that they missed an opportunity there to have some really good chemistry and comedy in the episode with no Tyler Hudson. And I felt the ending was a little sloppy. Like, really, the briefcase is on the sofa, not on the floor. I thought that was kind of lame. So, but overall, I thought it was a solid episode too. That's why I'm standing by 4 gavels.
Yeah, one of my negatives would be I would have had one of the wives be the killer, which is kind of what they set up at the beginning. And I would have had Michelle Thomas finish it. I would have had Ben do maybe some of the introduction questions back and forth, but then I'd have had Michelle finish it because it would have been more of a gut punch, a shock.
All right. Well, Jason, let's plug some other podcast projects, websites, social media, and everything else that you got going on, man.
3 Geeks Podcast live every Sunday at noon. It's been a crazy time on that show. A lot of comedy gold, a lot of angry movie reviews, but most of all, it's been a lot of fun. Fun continues. Friday on the Scene Snobs Network, we're doing a fundraiser to help my sister and my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law has been really sick in the ICU, and we're just trying to do what we can to help her with the finances over the next 3 months that he's going to be in the hospital. So please tune in if you can. It's from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. I will say that there'll probably be some adult language, so if that's not your thing, I completely understand.
All right, where can folks find 3 Geeks Podcast, by the way?
3geeks.ninja, thescenesnobs.com, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Everywhere. We're everywhere. You might look somewhere and not want us there. We're there.
You might look underneath your shopping cart as you're checking out. Boom! They're there.
Yeah, it's a small world. We might be in your city right now.
Like the Matlock universe. We're just going to show up at your door.
Yeah.
Hi. Anyways. Well, my personal podcast is the PVDcast. You can find it at PVDcast.com or all those major podcasting outlets. And want to let everybody know one more time that Mattalk is nominated for Columbus Podcast Award.
Yes,
in the TV.
If
go
you
ahead.
need a date, I'm Jason. I like walks on the beach. And you want to go with me to the awards? BNMATTALK@gmail.com. That was the important thing that John wanted to remind you guys about.
Something tells me this could end up, if you get a date, this could end up like an episode of Matlock.
Okay. I hope you solve my murder, John. I'm going to put that in my will. If I die.
Okay. All right. You got it. No, Mattalk, nominated for a Columbus Podcast Award in the TV and film category. This means that Mattalk is also nominated for the Podcast of the Year award. Please go over to ColumbusPodcastAwards.com/nominations. Go to the TV and film, click vote now, select the icon of Mattalk, put in your email address, your vote counts, then go over to Podcast of the Year, do the exact same thing, and hopefully at the end of August, we'll have some cool hardware. We can brag a little bit about being an award-winning podcast, and it'll all be because of you. Thank you very much. If you've already voted, if you haven't, please do so. Please, 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 please do so.
Yes, and we appreciate you guys for listening, watching,
We do.
and supporting us.
We do. And we haven't forgotten about our special prize that we are giving away, which is season 1 of Matlock on DVD. We still have not had anybody tell us how in the world do you think Ben got roped into going to England for that court case, which happened a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah, and how does a man get away with having 3 wives? Let me know.
Well, that might not get you the DVD prize. We just want to know about the England angle. That's the only way you can win the prize. So, all right, with that then, ladies and gentlemen, as they say in court, nothing further. The following has been a joint production of the Three Geeks Podcast and John Orlando Enterprises, LLC. Copyright 2021.